Joining me now is Nebraska Congressman Michael Flood. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for being here. This is now the second longest shutdown in U.S. history. The House is out of session this week. Where are we on this?
Well, we're not any closer than we were a week ago, which is sad. And I think as the payday approaches here, as we enter the end of the month, we're going to have a question. Are we going to let some federally employees go without their second paycheck? I mean, when the Democratic House Minority Whip says, yes, we know there's pain, but it's the only leverage we have. They're making this a political problem, and they're holding American federal workers hostage. And to people in Nebraska and across America, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, how long can this go? Tensions are high between Democrats and Republicans. They're far apart in any negotiations. We heard from the Speaker of the House this week, Mike Johnson. Watch this.
We're not going to allow Chuck Schumer to play selfish political games and hold the American people hostage. We will not negotiate with legislative terrorists. We're not going to let them do that. We can't. We owe it to the people to get this government operating again.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries responded. Congressman, here's that. Watch.
That type of language is reckless, it's irresponsible, and it's going to get someone killed. What do these folks not understand as it relates to the language that they continue to use? We should be able to battle it out in the contest of ideas, as opposed to trying to use these extreme terms that have been unleashed on the American people from the very beginning of this presidency.
But, you know, there are other Democrats, Congressman, that are still playing into this violent rhetoric. Here's what Texas State Representative Jolanda Jones said about dealing with political opponents. Watch this.
I'm from the hood, okay? So when a bully comes, like, if there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck. You've got to hit hard enough where they won't come back.
Congressman, this is incredible. I mean, Jones is running for U.S. Congress right now.
We're better than this as Americans. Like, we have to get past this. You know, ultimately, we need a mainline budget that the House and the Senate can agree to and the president can sign, because right now we're living under Joe Biden's budget and Chuck Schumer's Senate budget. It's ironic that they're not voting for the very thing that they've already voted on 3 times, but we have to get to the next step. I don't know how we get there. My guess is, and I think this is legit, if the air traffic controllers start calling in sick, if TSA agents start calling in sick, it's going to impact American commerce in a way that will be super unproductive. And maybe that's the next step. But, you know, the fact that those folks have remained on the jobs is a testament to who they are and what they believe in and the safety that they endorse. I just hope we can get through the next couple of days and that the Democrats will say, hey, let's extend this. At this point, this is my fear. Going to November 21st doesn't do much anymore. I mean, we have lost 25 days, which is ridiculous. We have to figure out how we're going to get to the next step. And everyday Americans, when they start to feel that, they're going to demand that.
Well, I think it's a good point that you make, because Jason Smith, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, is talking about funding this government until, you know, after the midterms. December 2026. I mean, is that even, you know, possible? And what about all your appropriations bill? I mean, when we started this government shutdown, you had a lot more time to get these appropriations bills done. Now we're looking at, you know, the end of the year and a question on whether or not you're actually going to get your work done.
I do not want a continuing resolution for any longer than we have to have one. I signed up for Congress to be in the Article 1 branch of government, which means our fingerprints, the fingerprints of Nebraskans, are on the budget. Yes, we might have to pick a date that's a little further out there, but the idea that we would live under some kind of a continuing resolution beyond just a couple of weeks or months is totally unacceptable. I chair the Main Street Caucus. This is a hard-held belief by every single person, all 86 members of the Republican caucus, that the Main Street Caucus. A long-term CR is not acceptable in any way.
Yeah, but so what about those appropriations bills, Congressman?
Well, to the credit of Tom Cole, our appropriations chair in the House, I think we've got 7 of them out there. We've passed 3. The Senate is actually working in regular order. What's ironic, before this shutdown, the Senate was moving bills out onto the floor. The House was moving bills. And I always say there's Republicans, there's Democrats, and then there's appropriators. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you serve on the Appropriations Committee, you spend every day of your service working on putting together a budget, only to have somebody crumple it up and put it in a wastebasket and kick the ball down the field a couple of more months. That would be soul crushing as a lawmaker to experience that. They want to pass a budget. Even the Democrats want to pass a budget. They don't want their work for naught. And so I think there's a lot more Democrats that we're not hearing from that are just going to bed every night and praying that this gets done sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But they fear their base. They fear the left.
Well, we'll see. I mean, you need 5 votes. You can't get the 5 votes. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, Senate Majority Leader John Thune breaking with President Trump yesterday, meanwhile, over his proposal to import more beef from Argentina in an effort to offset prices at home. Thune said, quote, "This is not the way to do it," and that it's created a lot of uncertainty in that market. Monday, the president wrote on Truth Social, quote, "The cattle ranchers who I love don't understand that the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on cattle coming into the United States, including a 50% tariff on Brazil. They also have to get their prices down because the consumer is a very big factor in my thinking." Congressman, you're also speaking out against more beef imports, saying that it would undermine domestic producers. Where are we on this? And what about John Thune's pushback?
Well, this is a very complicated issue. And the reason prices are high right now is we have the smallest herd we've had in decades. We've had a drought in the western United States. We've got screwworm concerns in Texas and, of course, in Mexico. But the best problem we have is that consumer demand for beef is extremely high, which is probably the best news. Listen, I'm in solution phase. If the president wants to import Argentinian beef, then let's stop some imports from another country to keep our market stable. Like, how do we get through this together? I do believe that Senator Thune is echoing what I'm hearing in Nebraska. I don't believe that. I know that. Cattle ranchers are very, 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 and have been very supportive of President Trump. We need to get to the next step in this process.
Absolutely. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you.
You too. Have a good morning.
And to you, Congressman Michael Flood. Stay with us. We'll be right back.